La 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 la. Song that I remember singing in kindergarten. Was in the underground parking. There was a stage down there where the parents could sit on the chairs that they set out. And we, as kids, had sung that song for our parents. I still remember that. Interesting. That was in Miller Elementary School in Michigan. I've done the videos for you. So, again, the Book of Mormon. All Mormons love the Book of Mormon, know it's true, right? And it's literal history, and it's not coded. There's a certain ex-Mormon who's anti-Mormon, who's going around telling people that the Book of Mormon is coded. What does he know? He has no faith in Joseph Smith or the Book of Mormon. So, I'll read from the Book of Mormon for you so that you can relax. So you shouldn't have to rush to put a thumbs down on this video. It's from 1 Nephi, chapter 14. So, yeah, this is important, vital information for the last days. Let's go over it. Therefore, woe be unto the Gentiles. So that's not code. We know who the Gentiles are. Those are the wicked world. If it so be that they harden their hearts against the Lamb of God. So it's literal history, and it's talking. It's not in code. So it's an actual lamb that speaks, right? It's not code, right? You guys disagree and you don't believe me that the Book of Mormon is coded. So it's an actual lamb, because it says it's a lamb, right? So now that we've got that settled, I try so hard to get through to Mormons, and no appreciation whatsoever. For the time cometh, saith the actual Lamb, literal Lamb of God. Anybody familiar with Lambert? Lambert died some years ago. Wonder if there was a feast of that lamb. Seriously? I am not answering it. For the time cometh, saith the Lamb of God, that I will work a great and marvelous work among the children of men. So the Lamb is going to do a great and marvelous work among the children of man. A work which shall be everlasting, either on the one hand or on the other. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Wait a minute. That's Joseph Smith. Because, yes, in 2 Nephi chapter 3, we learn that Joseph Jr., son of Joseph Sr., who has the same name as Joseph of Egypt, is the seer of whom Joseph of Egypt And Moses in Deuteronomy 18 is to come, right? And he's the Lamb of God. Joseph is a lamb. Book of Mormon is literal. It's true history. So he's a lamb. Isn't that great? So, not coded at all, is it? So it's not code for Joseph Smith. Right? It's got to have some other meaning. But it's literal. There is no other meaning. The lamb did the work, not Joseph. Step aside, Joseph. I'll do it myself. You got it all wrong. You didn't say Jesus appeared to you in the first vision. You didn't say that it was Moroni. You said Nephi, and you said gold instead of golden. You got everything wrong, Joseph. Everything is wrong. So step aside, the talking lamb. I mean, there's a talking ass in the Bible. Well, why not a talking lamb? It's right here in the Book of Mormon. It's not code. Either to the convincing of them unto peace and life eternal, or unto the deliverance of them to the hardness of their hearts. And the blindness of their minds. Unto their being brought down into captivity. Stay away from 103 verse 16, Mormons. Stay away. Run away. Be brave, Sir Robin, and run away. And also into destruction. Mormons. They're googly, moogly. And temporarily and spiritually according to the captivity of the devil, which I have spoken. Yep, sure has. And it came to pass that he, the angel, not the lamb, said unto me, Nephi, not the lamb, look, and behold the great and abominable church. So that's some other church, right, Mormons? That's not the Mormon church. Nothing to do with them, right? I'm sure we can all agree on that. Right? Agree. Which is the Mother of Abominations, whose founder is the devil, whose symbol is the inverted pentagram that would be on the keystone of the devil's church. Right? That would hold their members captive. Force extortion payments from them. Call it tithing. So that's not the Mormon church. That's got Jesus. Jesus is their God, not Lucifer. Because all Mormons know that that's who's talking to Joseph in the first vision. That says that the first creed of Christianity is an abomination in Jesus' sight. Right? And all Mormons know what the Nicene Creed is all about. So, yeah, they don't go around lying to people about the first vision, right? And he said unto me, behold, there are save 2 churches. One is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because it has to have the name of their Christ. The founder of their church has to be in the name, otherwise it's somebody else's church, like the Church of the Devil. Church of the Devil is in the name of the devil's church, right? We're all in agreement, right? Nicene Creed explains all of this to us, right? The one is the church of the Lamb of God. There's that lamb, talking lamb again. Well, it's literal, so we have to accept that lambs can talk. So, who's the shepherd? and the other is the church of the devil. And so, yes, our church, as the Lamb is the head of our church, it's the Church of the Lamb of Latter-day Saints. Right? Has to have the name in order to be his church. Right? That's what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is called, is the Church of the Lamb of Latter-day Saints. Right? We're all in agreement? And the Church of the Devil is the name of the Church of the Devil. So we can just flip through our, we don't have phone books anymore. Internet and cell phone technology sort of did away with that. Is there a 411 we can call? Yeah, the Church of the Devil, please. Oh, there's how many in Utah? Oh, that's Salt Lake. Oh. Okay, let me narrow it down. Wherefore, whoso belongeth not to the church of the Lamb, that's not Mormons. Mormons belong to the church of the Lamb, the talking Lamb, right? This isn't code. This is literal, right? Can I stop this now? Have you caught on now that this is coded? Or do I have to keep going? Belongeth to that great church which is the Mother of Abominations. She is the whore of all the earth. And it came to pass that I looked and beheld the whore of all the earth. She sat upon many waters, and she had dominion over all the earth, among all nations, kindreds, tongues, and people. So her scriptural book of the devil is translated into all the languages of the world, pretty much. Should be careful, because the Church of the Lamb has the exact same scriptures. It's just, it needs to be restored back to the original edition rather than the edited versions that the Church of the Devil has done to it. And it came to pass that I beheld the church of the talking Lamb of God, and its numbers were few. Well, see, it is the Mormon church, because in 2012 the news was reporting a massive exodus from the church of, it was about 12 million back then, and so it was down to about 5 million, so 7 million Mormons left back in 2012 reporting, so 2011 to 2012. Left active membership, and because of my brother, he lost the additional Mormons, because that's his job, is to find Mormons who, have strayed from the flock, straight from the Lamb, who's overseeing the lambs, the sheep of the Mormons, right? And he lost them. And so it's so low now that the church said, coronavirus, we'll see about next year. Yep. Well, we can see that church attendance is very high in Utah. Just watch the coronavirus Utah stats page. It'll tell you all you need to know about those who are faithful in attending church every week. Let's see. Where were we? It came to pass the Mother of Abominations. So this is important. This is a Latter-day prophecy, Mormons. Did gather together multitudes upon the face of the earth among all the nations of the Gentiles, So the great and abominable church is going to get the Gentile nations to fight against the Lamb of God. Huh. A talking lamb, huh? You'd think they'd want to have him dissected for science. A unique event, a unique talking lamb, let's kill it. Find out how it works. I'm sure there's a Simpsons episode on that. If not, somebody else who's done that. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, a literal historical character, who did not appear to Joseph, was Moroni, beheld the power of the talking Lamb of God, that it descended upon the saints of the Church of the Lamb. Well, see, Mormons are saints. They're a part of the Church of the Talking Lamb of Latter-day Saints. I don't understand what Nelson is talking about. Upon the covenant people of the Lord, who are scattered upon the face of the earth. Yeah, Mormons are scattered upon the face of the earth. They're not gathering to Utah, because that's Zion, right? And they were armed. Oh, with righteousness. Well, that's no fun. That's only a +2. The ring of Candor is a +20. I'll trade you. And with the power of God in great glory. And it came to pass that the wrath of God was poured out upon the great and abominable church. Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. In so much that there were wars and rumors of wars among all nations. Really? So the wrath against the great and abominable church is wars among all nations. Kindreds of the earth. And there began to be wars and rumors of wars among all the nations which belong to the Mother of Abominations. So there's a temple of the devil in all of these lands, where there are wars. So there would be an announcement for a temple in Russia and a temple in Ukraine, because that's about to break out in an all-out war, and did when Putin took over Crimea. And China would have a temple, and Hong Kong would have a temple. Yeah, the Great and Abominable Church would be all over the place, huh? Because there have been wars in the Philippines, and South and Central America. Yeah, wars. So yeah, we have to look out for this, right? We need to know who this Great and Abominable Church is, because work of the Father shall commence, fulfilling the covenants. A man dressed in a white robe. Brian David Mitchell was dressed in a white robe. He's a man. He's in prison. The angel said unto me, behold, one of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Oh, this is about John the Revelator. Oh, that's where Lamb comes from. Well, that means that Revelation is all literal history and all literal characters. So the beasts are actual beasts. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse is real, because I saw it on the Simpsons episode. right? So the lamb, real, it's a talking real lamb. And like I've told you in other stories or videos, in high school I took a whole bunch of art classes, and one particular art class I think was cartooning. Can't remember. But had the born-again Christian kid in the class, sat at my table with us, and he was always drawing dragons. Excellent dragons. They were awesome. Great artist for dragon drawing. And so I said, "Oh, wow, those are awesome pictures." He said, "Yeah, it's the devil." "Oh, the devil is a dragon, huh?" "Yeah, the Bible says so." See? Talking lambs, dragons for the devil. Right? All real, literal. And then it gets into talking about some book. So, now, so the great and abominable church is going to attack the Church of the Lamb. So if Mormons are the Church of the Talking Lamb, shouldn't you want to know who this great and abominable church is, so that you can protect yourself? Or are you just going to wait for Nelson to do all the work for you? Should I go into explaining who the Church of the Devil is? Or are you capable of reading your own Book of Mormon and identifying all the descriptions to identify the great and abominable church, so that you will know that you are actually in the right church, that you're hearkening to the true talking lamb, not some dragon in sheep's clothing. Right? Let's go to Doctrine and Covenants and why it's so important. 58. Right? Yeah. Hearken, O ye elders of Joseph Smith's church, who has an important work to do, marvelous work and a wonder, concerning this land. This land is my land. We sang that song too. I remember that. Huh. Interesting. I came full circle. Wow. Unto which I have sent you. For verily I say unto you, blessed is he that keepeth my commandments, whether in life or death, blah blah blah, natural eyes, glory, tribulation, nigh at hand. Remember, behold, verily I say unto you in verse 6, for this cause I have sent you, that you might be obedient to the law of obedience in Brigham Young's temple, to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that your hearts might be prepared to bear testimony of the things which are to come. Oh, we're supposed to bear testimony of things which are to come on our missions? Oops. We only handed out the Book of Mormon. And is it 152 languages? How many languages is the Book of Mormon translated into now? Translations of the Book of Mormon are there. As of 2021, the Book of Mormon has been translated into 115. I thought there were more. Now they're getting louder. Good God. Leave me alone. So, 115. And also that you might be honored in laying the foundation, in bearing record of the land upon which the Zion of God shall stand. Utah, right? Salt Lake City. Right? It's not Missouri. We're not going back. And also that a feast of fat things might be prepared for the poor. Well, they need to get a job. We don't want to be a welfare state. They need to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. They need to pay tithing. They need to work so that they can be helped from the bishop's storehouse. So, I'm not in the mood to talk to people today, guys. I'm having lots of frustrations. Laundry dryer didn't work. Can't get a hold of key people to try to rescue myself from the attacks that the church sabotaged me with. And the feast of fat things, of wine. Oh no, that's against the word of wisdom. No. And the lees well refined, that the earth may know that the mouths of the prophets shall not fail, except for this latest one. On the 2nd of January. What the hell happened? Yea, supper of the house of the Lord. That's the temple. Well prepared. And Nelson took away all the cafeterias, by the way. Did I do that video for you? Yeah, the cafeterias are gone. So, no supper in the temples anymore. Just saying. Well prepared, unto which all nations shall be invited. First the rich, and the learned, and the wise, and the noble. After that cometh the day of my power. Then shall those poor, who are begging for welfare, the lame and the blind, and the deaf, so those who are homeless and disabled, we treat them the same anyway. They all get the same Social Security, don't they? And it's less than minimum wage, because we don't want them to not look for a job, even if they're disabled and can't get a job. So we have to treat them like inhuman subhumans. Come in unto the marriage of the talking lamb. So there's a talking lambette out there somewhere. And partake of the supper of the Lord. Yeah, well, yeah, John in Revelation talks all about this too. Prepared for the great day to come. Behold, I, the Lord, have spoken it. And that the testimony might go forth from Zion, yea, from the mouth of the city of the heritage of God. So let's go to that Revelations passage, shall we? Chapter 19. And we need to go further. Okay. Verse 7. Let us be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him, for the marriage supper of the talking lamb is come, and his wife, Lambette, because it's lamb, but if you put et at the end, does the B now get pronounced? Make herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen. Oh, now we're dressing up our lambs, are we? Clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. Hey, that's Mormons. And he said unto me, Write, Blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. Well, Joseph Smith told us who was called and what order they were called. Just read over it with you. These are the true sayings of God. And I fell at his feet. So you're bowing before the talking Lamb to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow Mormon. What? Wait a minute. No, that can't be right. And of thy brethren, and have the testimony of Jesus. Oh yeah, well there's Jesus. Where's he been this whole time? Talking too much about a lamb. Need more Jesus. Worship God, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. If only you guys understood what that meant. And I saw heaven opened. And behold, a white horse in heaven. So a white horse in outer space, and he that sat on him, so it's not the Lamb, was called Faithful and True. So faithful and true are the moments we two can share. Or is it precious and few? And in righteousness he doth judge and make war? Oh, well, this guy is obviously evil. His eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Well, that's kind of weird. He's nameless? It sounds a lot like the Egyptian deity called Amun. I'm sure it has no relation to Joseph Smith's son Amun, because it's a completely different spelling, different vowels. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. Wow, this is getting too graphic. I don't know, I don't feel good anymore. I've lost the spirit. Reading the scriptures, I've lost the spirit, because this is too violent and graphic. And his name is called the Word of God. And the armies, oh my goodness, such violence, which were in heaven. Oh, is that why Trump created a space force? Followed him upon white horses. Interesting. Clothed in fine linen, white and clean. I just caught on to that. I know what that means. I know when those dates are. Interesting. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he should smite the nations. So yeah, this is the great and abominable church, right? Yeah, this is that evil guy from the great and abominable church, false Christ. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. But the iron rod is the word of God. Will safely guide you home. What's going on? And he treadeth the winepress. Oh, wait a minute. Who is this guy? Is he evil or what? Of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name tattooed, written, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel. Now remember, this is all literal. This isn't coded with symbols and metaphors and parables. This is literal. And I saw an angel standing in the sun. So I saw an episode of Enterprise the other day where they met a culture that was able to get closer to a supergiant than Enterprise was. Enterprise had to stay further back because it was too hot to handle, too hot to touch. And so this angel apparently has the capability of standing in the sun, because this is literal, it's real. No code, no symbol, no parable, no metaphor, none of that. And he cried with a loud voice, saying, to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God. Isn't that great? So, yeah, it's kind of important, Mormons, to know which church is the great and abominable church, so that you can be a part of this. Because it seems like he's going to need some help, because there's going to be a great war gathered against him to destroy him. So Mormons don't want that to happen, right? Need to be clothed with righteousness to protect the Lamb, the talking Lamb. See, I never made any connections whatsoever. I was a good boy. I deserve thumbs up. Because Mormons will be obedient and follow the words of the Lamb, the talking Lamb, not the false prophet, Christ, right? So, good luck, Mormons. Because we don't know the day or the hour. This is literal. An angel standing in the sun on the back of a white horse. That's literal. That's real. It's not symbolic. It's not code. It's not some star date. So, yep, no man knows. That's what Matthew says. And Joseph Smith Matthew says it. So it must be true. No man knows the day and the hour of 8 April 2024.